Awesome. So today's focus, guys, is going to be on our hips, and to be specific, it's going to be on our hamstrings and our glutes. But we're going to kind of warm up the whole hip joint in a way, in various ways. Welcome, and good to see you. How are you? Okay, so we're starting on our roller. If for some reason you don't have a, and do you have a roller? Yeah.
My roller is short, actually.
Okay, so if you've got a short roller, then you're going to just lie like this, okay? Body, and the back of your head needs to be on either the ground or on your roller, okay? Let's just take a couple of breaths here, closing your eyes and just feeling the natural curves of your spine behind you on the roller. Taking a big breath in through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. On the exhale, think about your rib cage drawing down into the roller behind you. 2 more like that. So we want to feel heavy into the roller or into the ground. Nice. Good. So if you've got the small roller, you'll just perch your tailbone onto the roller and hold onto the left and the right side so it doesn't roll away from you. Now from here, guys, let's think about engaging into our abdominals. So you want to kind of brace into your abdominals as if someone was about to kind of punch you in the tummy. And you're going to lift your left heel off of the ground. Slowly start to float the left leg up into tabletop. Hold it in the sky. Yeah. And then you're going to count 5 seconds in your head to lower the foot back to the ground. So nice and slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel the toe strike, the midfoot strike, the heel. Lift the right heel up off the ground and then float your right foot off. Right leg up into tabletop. Hold. You're keeping yourself dead stable on the ground or on the roller, and you're counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to take it all the way down. Keep repeating. So as you swap, guys, I want you to have absolutely minimal movement from side to side on the roller. As you lower your leg down, I want you to find your tummy muscles even more. So just before that foot touches the ground, you should feel maximum abdominal activation. And then as the foot touches, your tummy muscles should soften. Okay, so we're warming up into our abs. You want to think pelvic stability, as if you were balancing a tray of tea on your tummy and you didn't want to let it spill. As soon as the foot lifts, same thing. Let's go for 4 more, guys. Counting 5 seconds on the way down. Let's take a look at you. Good. 3. Very nice. Yes. Last 2. And final 1. Counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, so from here, you're gonna, if you're on the long roller, you keep your hands on the ground. If you're on the short roller, you support that roller so it doesn't slide away from you, okay? You're gonna take one leg into tabletop, other leg into tabletop, and hang out here. Okay, so what I want you to think about in this moment right now is your lower back. Try not to grip and tense up too much into those muscles. Think about your lower back softening down into the roller and your rib cage drawing down. Then let's try and straighten our legs up towards the sky. Yes, well done. Okay, so I really want you guys to work as hard as you can to straighten out the back of your knees. That's where the mobility component of this comes in. So even though we're trying to stretch the hamstrings, we need to engage the muscles at the front of our legs to make the hamstrings open up as much as possible. So straighten out those legs, squeeze your kneecaps up. Very nice. Now from here, point through the toes and then flex into your toes. into your feet. Point and flex. The whole way through, you're keeping the front of your legs squeezed on. You're squeezing your kneecaps up. Going for 4. You should feel a little bit of kind of a wobbliness in the shoulders, maybe a little bit of abdominal work. Last 3, keep on pointing and flexing. Nice, guys. 2, and last 1. Very nice. Now bend your knees, double tabletop position. Okay, from here, try and stay as stable as you possibly can in your left knee, but open your right knee out to the right-hand side. Okay, and then bring yourself back. Swap over to the other side. Just notice how much your lower back wants to work here. See if you can really soften into that area. Find your core. Good. So we're thinking about opening the knee out to the side, mobilizing into one hip without letting the opposite knee move. Good. Yes, and you're rocking this. Nice. Let's go for 4 more. And back. Good. Feel that wobbliness in the shoulders. Love that. So shoulder proprioception happening here as well. Last 2. Nothing better than stabilizing on an uneven surface. Last 1. Bring it back. Okay, now from here, let's straighten out those knees again. Squeeze the kneecaps up. And from this position, you're going to try and pull your 2 thighs in as close as you possibly can to your body. Now I'm lifting my tail a little bit off of the roller, feeling my abdominals work, and then I'm going to take my tailbone back. Okay? As I bring my legs in super close, I want my kneecaps almost to touch my shoulders, touch my chest, and I'm going to open up the back of my knees even more and bring it back. So we're bringing a little bit of core into this, but we're still thinking, how much can I open up the back of my legs? Can I point my toes a little bit more? Can I squeeze my kneecaps up a little bit more as I bring my thighs in close to my body? Let's take maybe 4 more if you can. Nice. Try and straighten out those knees a little bit more, Kira, if you can. Yes, exactly. That's it. Last 2. And last 1. Awesome. Just pop your feet onto the ground for a moment. Good job. All right. Okay, so Anne, you're going to take the roller away from underneath your bum, but the rest of us who've got big rollers, we're just going to keep it behind us for the time being. Put your feet flat onto the ground. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to bridge yourself up. So you're going to press your feet down into the floor, pick your pelvis up, and then 1 vertebra at a time, lower your spine down. Good. So again, if you've only got a small roller, you just get rid of it and you're articulating your spine up and down to the ground. So as you come up, guys, I want you to really almost feel a stretch sensation at the front of your legs. So use this as an opportunity to open up the front of your body. Last 2, lift it up, nice. Yes, beautiful. Keep all 10 toes on the ground and lower. Yes. Last 1 and lift. Amazing. And lower. Stunning. Okay, guys, we've got one more little bit of work to go, one little exercise to go still with our legs up in the air. So you're going to take your hands back down to the ground and you're going to pop that roller right back behind your tailbone as it was in the previous exercises. And we're going to take our legs up into tabletop and again, straighten them up towards the sky. Okay, so from here, you're going to try and bring those legs even closer in towards your body. So bring the thighs in close, straighten out the back of your knees, point through the toes. Good. And then I want you to see if you can draw a rainbow shape. So if you had to look at your big toes are now at the top of the rainbow. You're going to let them open left and right. and you're going to draw a really long, broad, wide rainbow. So let the feet separate, open them east and west, straighten out the back of the knees, and then take them up, joining them again at the top of the rainbow. Okay, so you're not drawing a full circle here. I guess it would be a semicircle. When you reach your widest point, where you hopefully feel an inner thigh stretch, I want you to try and pull your kneecaps up, straighten out the back of your knees, and point the toes even more, and then bring them back up to the peak of the rainbow. Nice. Let's go for maybe 6 to 8 more of these. Fight to straighten out the back of those legs. Yes. And up. Good. And 5. So there's no harm in thinking about those feet lifting higher in terms of the peak of the rainbow getting higher up and higher up each time. You might find when you bring your feet together, they can actually come closer towards your body. You can bring those legs closer towards your body. You can open up the back a little bit more. Last 2. And last 1. Amazing. And you're going to pop those feet onto the ground. Well done. Great. So mobility training is hard work, unfortunately, but it's very rewarding. Okay, so guys, we're going to come up off of the roller just for a little bit of standing work, and then we're going to go straight back down again. Okay, so rollerino. Did we lose Anita? I think we may have. Oh, no, there she is again. All right, so take your feet wide on your mat, and I've got the roller. I mean, you can have a small one, big one, doesn't really matter. And you're just going to bend into the knees, let them go east and west, okay? And then hang out where you kind of find them. But I want you to squeeze your bum to pull the knees back even more, so they're not caving in ever, okay? So use your butt to squeeze the knees apart. Keep your ribs closed down. Push into the roller like you're about to try and squish it, okay? So your elbows are bent, and then you're going to allow the arms to come back as far as possible without letting the ribs pop open, okay? And then take them back to your thighs. And open. So you're squeezing your butt the whole time, and that's going to help you keep those knees super, super wide east and west. Open. Good. And close. I think Anita's having trouble with her internet. Good. So as you do this, watch that your head doesn't kind of poke forward. We're practicing, I guess, our overhead movement with an isometric hold in the lower body. So what that means is that we're holding this position in the lower body, creates a lot of strength and flexibility as well. Last 3, open. Fighting for a little bit more range, back the way with those arms. 2, last 1, open, and take it down, and then straighten out the legs for a second. Great job. Okay, you might be a little bit out of breath after that. We're coming down one more time, and it's going to be, again, isometric hold in the lower body with some upper body mobility. So you're going to come down, squeeze those knees east and west, so bum switches on, reach the arms up. You're going to try and take your roller all the way over towards your left, and then bring it back. Good. Over to your right, and bring it back. And what I want you to notice is, as you side bend, try not to roll forwards. You should never see your top hand. You should not be able to see your top hand. Good. You're going to go for 5. And 4, keep squeezing your bum. Pull the knees east and west. 3. Keep the neck soft. 2. Good. Last 1. Amazing. And then straighten out the legs. Okay, you're going to have your roller out in front. So, Anne, you're not going to be able to use your roller for this because otherwise you're going to be holding on down there. So you can just get rid of it. Okay, you can use the wall to support you. If you've got the long one, you've got a full length one, you're going to stand onto your right leg, balance. I'll take it away for a second so you can see what I'm doing in my leg. So I'm balancing on my right leg. My left knee is lifted, but I don't want to hike up my hip, so I want to make sure that that hip is down. Okay, now, and you're going to imagine that your roller was right there. We're going to take our roller to the inside of our left knee. Let your foot rest against your roller, okay? And then you're going to open and close, okay? So I'm internally rotating my femur, and then I'm closing it again. Internally rotating and closing. And what's nice about having the roller there is you kind of use it as a barrier, okay? I was doing this earlier on, and I was doing it with my husband, and he was hiking up every time. So just watch out for that, okay? 6. Good. 5. Keep your foot active. Beautiful. And when you open it out to the side, if you do have the roller there, there's no harm in kind of pushing your knee into the roller. Last 3. Good. So internally rotating the hip actually allows us to lengthen some of our glutes. 2. And last one. Very nice. Let's go straight over to the other leg. You can shake it out. Great job. So kind of motoring through all this stuff, but I'm hoping your hips are going to feel really good afterwards. So bring your roller out in front, or if you don't have one, doesn't matter. You can just hold onto the wall and you internally rotate and take it back. So as you kick your ankle out, make sure that you're not hiking the corresponding hip up. Good. And back. And if you were watching yourself in the previous leg, just, make a mental note of how far the one side goes compared to the other. Okay. Maybe about 6 more. Push your knee into the roller. And 5. Good. 4. And 3. And 2. Good. Last one. Almost there. Ooh. Well done. Pop that foot down, shake it out. So this one, you could use the wall or the roller to balance with. We're literally just going to stretch out a couple of our glutes. So you're going to hook your left ankle over your right knee, okay, and you're literally just going to sit back. So it's a standing figure 4 stretch. Keep your chest up. Breathing here. If you want to go hands-free and just balance it, you're welcome to do that. But make sure you don't lose the stretch, okay? So keep the feeling of stretch. See if you can get a little bit of a deeper bend into that right knee. Use your left glute to open the left hip, open that left knee towards the ground. And then slowly stand it up, shake it out, straight over to the other side. Nice, Kira, you're like going for an endurance hold. That's awesome. Okay, so whenever you're ready, you take it over to the other side, sink it in. Make sure you get the feeling of stretch on that outside hip on the left there. If you want to balance it, you can. You don't have to though. Keep on engaging into that right glute to get the knee closer towards the ground. Maybe bend a little deeper into that left knee if you can. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly take it out. Awesome. All right, so the good news is that you've only got 2 more kind of tricky, difficult exercises to go before we actually physically roll out the muscles. We're going to come down onto our back again, and this time we're going to put the roller at the base of the mat. This can be like really torturous. So if it feels like a step too far, you just put your feet on the ground, okay? But basically we're going to use the roller as something to bridge onto, to activate our hamstrings and our glutes. So I want you to put your feet on the roller, bring the roller kind of closer to your bum than further away. So the closer the thing is towards your bum, the easier it is gonna be to get up. The further away, the more it's gonna burn. So get your feet comfy, point your toes down towards the floor, and before you lift your bum up, you're thinking about tucking into the lower back, not arching, and you're pushing the roller into the ground, not forward, you're pushing down, okay? So think about standing down onto the roller, tucking through the tail, and picking your pelvis up, okay? Opening up the front of the hips, inhale at the top, and take the slowest journey down you possibly can. So one vertebra at a time. The journey down, at least for me, is way harder than the journey up. Okay, nice. So obviously also keep on going. This depends on what surface you're on. So if you're on like a really slippery floor, you might need to actually put the roller onto your mat so that it doesn't roll away from you, okay? The more slippery the surface, the harder it's going to be to stabilize. Keep on going, tuck and lift. Knees stay parallel, hip width distance. Slowly take it down. This is the closest I could really think of anything coming to a reformer or bridging on the reformer. Sometimes I think it's actually harder. Slowly coming down. Let's go for maybe 3 to 4 more depending on your pace. Remember, coming up through a tuck, engaging the glutes at the top, keeping the thighs parallel and slowly lowering down. If your hamstrings are absolutely cramping to pieces, you put your feet on the ground. Yeah. Last 2. Make sure the journey down is nice and equal. Last 1. So you're not veering into the left or the right side of your body as you lower it down. Amazing. Okay, well done. So you've lowered your bum to the ground. You're going to bring the roller closer in towards you and just pick up your bum, and you're going to put the roller underneath your tailbone. So Anne, it's the same as what you were doing earlier. We're just copying you now. Okay, so the roller is underneath your tailbone. Before you do anything, guys, just make sure for me that your weight is equal between your left and your right bum cheek. So you're literally on your sacrum. And then you're going to think about rounding into the lower back, holding onto the sides of the rollers with the roller with your hands, and then take your legs up into tabletop. Nice. Awesome. Okay. So again, active hip mobility. Straighten out the legs up towards the ceiling. From here, you're going to bring your right leg in as close towards your body as possible, without letting your knee bend, okay? So we're fighting to keep the back of that knee open. Awesome. Then flex into your right foot and point. Flex and point. So as you start to kind of get used to the position, see if you can bring your right leg in even closer without bending the knee. Flex and point for 4. Good. As you flex into the foot, think about opening up the knee even more. 2. Good. Last 1. Let your right foot float back up towards the sky. Bring the left leg in close. Good. And you're going to flex and point. Flex and point. So what I'm hoping you're feeling, guys, is as soon as you flex into the foot, you get even more stretch at the back of your leg, and it might even go into your calf. And I want you to always be just a little bit outside your comfort zone here, in terms of you're always trying to pull that left leg in closer. You're always trying to open up the back of the knee a little bit more. Squeezing the kneecap up for 3, 2, bring it in closer. Yes. Last 1. Nice. Take the left leg back up towards the sky. Awesome. So from here, you're basically going to send one leg, your left leg over to the left, your right leg over to the right, almost as if you were coming into the middle splits. So I'm going to open, 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 east and west. Hopefully you don't have a wall that's going to stop you. Once you get to the point where you feel an inner thigh stretch, okay, and you can't go any further, I want you to try and straighten out the back of the knee, point the toes, and then bring your legs back together. Okay, we're going to do that maybe 4 more times. So open, 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 east and west. When you can get no further, try and straighten out the back of the knees, point the toes, almost like someone was pulling those legs out of the hip sockets, and then bringing it back together. 2 more. Open, open, open. Nice. Use your bum to really reach out through the legs. You can squeeze your bum to open the inner thighs even more. And back. Now, last time, open and hold them there. You've been here before. Okay, this is the base of your rainbow. So I want you to see if you can bring your 2 legs together, tracing that rainbow, tracing that semicircle, and end with your feet and your legs together as close in towards your body as possible. Lower back is rounded. Okay, and then you take your legs back up towards the ceiling. Open them east and west again. Open as much as you can. Squeeze your bum to open the inner thighs even more. Pull the kneecaps up, point the toes, and then draw your rainbow. Reach them up, 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 up. Ending with the legs as close into the body as possible. Straighten out the back of your knees. Let's go for 4 to 5 more, depending on your pace. So we open, 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 open. Squeeze your bum, reach, and start lifting up, 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 up. Pull towards you, pull towards you. Back of the knees, straighten, good. Amazing. Nice, guys. Last 3. So there shouldn't be a point where you don't feel the back of your legs stretch. There shouldn't be a point where you don't feel the front of your legs work. Last time. Open, open, open. Up, up, up. Back, back, back. Up, up, up. And then go ahead and take your feet down to the ground. So your 2 feet on the floor. All right, last little bit of work before we actually start to roll. Okay. So our feet are on the ground. We've got the roller behind us. Your hands are supporting the roller. I want us to try and open up the front of the hips just a little bit. So what you're going to try and do is keep your left heel in contact with the floor, but you're going to slide your left leg forward, straightening out that left leg until you feel the stretch at the front of your left hip, and pause, tuck through the tail, take a deep breath in. Good. And then you're going to just slide it back. And then I'm going to swap to the other leg. So I want to keep my right heel in contact with the mat. I'm going to slide it forward until I feel my right hip straight at the front. I don't want my lower back to arch, so I'm going to tuck. Take a moment or 2 there, and then bring it back. Okay, so it shouldn't be like the biggest stretch in the whole world, but it's quite a nice one. So this stretch that you're experiencing now would be specifically for your hip flexors. And yeah, make sure you're breathing into it. Make sure you still feel your pelvis relatively evenly weighted on the roller. So as soon as your one leg is straightened out, you don't just dump all of your weight into that side of your pelvis. Let's take 2 more rounds. Probably said 2 more about 10 ago. That's when you know I'm really enjoying something. Good. So just keep the heel in contact with the mat. Last time. And so when you slide the leg forward, Anita, just keep your heel on the mat. So we're actually not straightening it out into the sky. Yes, good. And then slide it back in. So you just go for 2 more there. You slide it out, keep the heel on your mat. Keep your heel on your mat if you can. And last time. Good. And then bring it back. Great job. Okay, so let's we're gonna keep the roller nearby, but we're not gonna use it to get up. So just put your bum onto the ground, and then roll yourself up into seated, and then you're gonna put the roller behind you, and I want you to sit on it. Okay. So you're sitting on the roller. Now, depending on how flexible you are, you're going to take your feet a little bit further out in front. All right. You might want to keep your fingertips on the ground as you navigate this. See if you can take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee in the seated position. Now, some of us will just be too tight to get here. If that's you, then you can straighten out your left leg a little bit more, and that'll lower the feeling of stretch. So the more bent your left leg is, the more intense the stretch is going to be, okay? Nice. All right, so from here, you've got your right ankle crossed over your left knee is bent or maybe a little bit straighter, and then I want you to slowly start to roll your bum back and forth on the roller. Okay, so the first one or two rolls, you might just be feeling your balance, but eventually I want you to start to lean into your right butt cheek a little bit more. Okay, so we're rolling out our right glute. Okay, it's very small. Nice. Good. Admittedly, guys, this does need a little bit of flexibility to get into this position. But as you start to kind of find it, allow your right hand to come onto the ground, and you're going to be able to lean into that right glute a little bit more. So we're aiming for the right glute, right piriformis. Yes. You might slide off the roller onto your bum on the floor, but it won't be a catastrophe. Good. Everybody feeling something in that glute, in the derriere? Hopefully. All right, take about 10 more seconds here. If you came to HIIT on Friday, oh my God, you would be feeling your glutes. That class was so intense. All right, last little roll back and forth on the right glutes. Put your right foot down, and we're just going to swap it on over to the other side. So find that position where your left ankle is crossed over your right knee. You can play around with how bent your right leg is, and then just adjust yourself to this position for a few seconds. Okay, so get used to that feeling of stretch. All right, and then guys, once you feel like you've got it to some degree, put your left hand on the ground and start to lean into your left glute. Roll up and down on your left bum cheek. Yes. The more you lean into the left side, you should feel more in terms of that kind of like myofascial releasey burniness. Maybe burn is the wrong word. Let's take about maybe 3 or 4 more ups and downs here. Really exploring. Last little up and down. And then bring it back. Awesome. Okay, so from here, put both feet onto the ground, and you're going to allow yourself to let the roller roll back ever so slightly. So it's not underneath your bum, it's just in front of your sit bones. Okay, we're going to come on to our hamstrings now. So we're going to roll out both legs initially, and then we're going to come into one leg at a time. I've got a feeling I'm going to end up in my pot plant, but anyway. So when we roll out the hamstrings, you're going to have to trust it a little bit. Bring your feet up, and you're going to roll forwards and roll backwards. roll forwards, and roll backwards. So if you really struggle with this, because it does involve a little bit of abdominal strength and core compression, you could always put blocks or books underneath your hands, and that would allow you to roll forward and backwards a little bit freer. But the core burn is nice, actually. Good. So try and get your bum back and bum forward. Good. Bum back and forward. Good. 2 more. Might not be very profound. Last one. And then bring it back. Okay, let's put our bum on the ground. We're going to take one leg now, right? So I'm going to move my roller over to the left so I can just get my left leg onto the roller, okay? And I'll turn myself a little bit that way so you can see. So I want the roller to be like right there at my sit bone because that's where my hamstring attaches, okay? And I'm going to lift my bum up, put my right foot on the ground, and I'm going to start rolling out just the back of my left leg. Cool. Yes. So guys, we have 3 hamstring muscles, okay? So if you have to think about the back of your leg broken into 3 chunks, the left side, the middle, and the right side, you can start to play around with the angle that you roll. So if I want to roll the inside part of the back of my leg, I roll my weight into that side, yeah? If I want to roll the middle, I stay in the middle. If I want to roll the outside, I roll to the outside. So definitely change your leg positioning to all 3 of those little angles until you feel your sweet spot. Mine is the inside. Good. Yes, going up and down. And if you feel a little area that's like, whoo, I need a little bit of TLC, then you're just going to hang out there. So one thing that you should know about the hamstrings is obviously they attach at the sit bone, but then they also attach just at the back of the knee. So you can start rolling a little lower down, closer to the back of the knee, and feel out if there are any areas there that maybe are holding a little bit of tension. It would be more on the left or on the right side. If you get to the back of the knee, it would be less at the center, you know, so more towards the inside or the outside of the knee, you'd feel more tenderness if it's hamstring. Okay, a couple more seconds here. And then you can pop your bum on the ground. We'll take it to the other leg. Now, I mean, you probably noticed already, guys, like your wrists, hey? Spend a lot of time on your wrists when you foam roll. Anyway, so coming onto the other leg, remember, I'm going to start up here. So the hamstrings attach the base of my sitting bone. I can start going straight down the middle of the back of my leg, allowing as much weight as possible to sink into the roller rather than thinking about pulling away from the roller. Sink into it. Good. And then again, you can start to play around with, okay, I want to get the inside portion of my hammies. I internally rotate. Good. Taking it slow. If that doesn't give you anything, if you feel like the inside, there's nothing really there, then you can roll to the outside. So your outside hamstring muscle has attachments to your ITB. So if you're a runner, you'll know all about ITB or cyclist. So it is kind of nice to roll that outside portion of the hamstring. So it kind of teases those fibers apart. Nice, keep on going. You've got about another minute. You want to just sit onto something or like relax into a particular place, that's cool. Sometimes that's what we really need. Right, and then again, just if you want to explore closer to the knee, remember the attachments on the outside of the knee and on the inside of the knee at the back can be quite juicy. All right, guys, and then you can put your bum back down onto the ground. Just come off the wrists for a second. Okay, we've got a little bit more time. We started like 3 minutes over, so there's one more area that I'd like us to roll, and that is kind of the outer thigh ITB glute area. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy. Let me think about this. I'll take it to that side. So getting in, I want to get my bum and the outside of my, it's going to look like your left side. So if you want to do your left side, you can. So the outside of my left thigh onto the roller. I'm going to take my top foot, my right foot out in front, and I'm either going to stay on my wrist or I'm going to come down onto my forearm. I'm personally going to take the forearm option. Okay. So depending on how high you start, you may or may not feel anything, but let's try and take it nice and high. So I'm going to go quite high up. So you can see the roller is really high, and I'm going to allow myself to kind of point my chest towards the ground, rolling myself forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. So we're really on the glute. Good. Nice. Yes, so I'm just allowing myself to roll literally forwards and backwards. Nice. See if you can get the roller a little bit higher. More glute, less leg. That makes sense. Yes. Good. And then instead of going up and down, can you allow your chest to roll towards the floor and then away from the floor? So you're kind of tipping your weight forwards and then backwards. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So you'd be rolling over glute max, glute med, and muscle called your tensor fascia lata. All right. Now we probably do need a bit more time here, but you can always come back to that later on. We're going to roll ourselves a little lower now, letting the roller come more onto our actual leg, rolling down and up and down. So we would be on our ITB, a little bit of quad, a little bit of that outside hamstring. ITB itself is like a tendon, but what is so sore about this area are the muscles that attach onto it. Okay, one more time up and down the side. We'll definitely do this again in classes to come. And then slowly come off and we go over to the other side. So we're going to start again on glute and then work our way down to the outer thigh. Okay, so come in onto, I guess what's going to look like your right side. And we want the roller pretty high. So I want it on my bum. Okay. I'm resting my right foot on the ground and I'm just rolling towards the wall behind me and towards the wall in front of me. So leaning back and forward. Yes. So we're going across the fibers of the glutes on that left side. Okay, maybe 5 more here. This is like torture for me. I don't know about you guys. Last 2. But it's generally a good sign to know that the glutes are working. If they didn't, you wouldn't be able to walk. Okay, come back to center. So you're not leaning forward, you're not leaning backwards. And then you can start to roll up your mat and down your mat. So you want to try and get onto that meaty bit of your thigh. For a second, you would be rolling over the greater trochanter, so to just be more bone. And then as soon as you come off the greater trochanter, you'll be literally on that ITB. Yes, guys. Okay. Oh, goodness. Let's go for 5 more ups and downs. I could literally do this all day, but we're already 5 minutes over. And 2, so if this feels pretty intense to you guys, just take it on board and maybe do it once or twice more throughout the week. And slowly come off of it when you're ready. All right, so you can just pop that off to one side. Guys, that is us rolled out, at least glutes and hamstrings wise. So hopefully you feel, you'll only feel it when you really stand up later, but hopefully you feel like you got a little bit of a release out there on the sides. When it comes to any kind of myofascial release, you might feel like really tired. You might feel a little bit sore tomorrow. So just drink loads of water, okay? Because we will like release toxins into our bloodstream. Hello, downward facing dog. That was so cute. All right, guys, well done. That's us. That's us. Let me know how you got on, and please, any questions, I would love to know.